Hey everyone. Let's start. Yesterday we did some changes around cart and then we wanted to include product. So I just had another idea. Why I'm actually relying on the data which is given to me by API. I can just push the data, right? Generally, if you see the flow of your e-commerce application, you generally add to the cart, right? So we already have the product information which we can push, and as we already have like very less data, we don't have to actually go ahead and uh, think a lot about like how to get those data. So we'll make those changes. So what I'm going to do here is I'll query those product information, because remember, when we log in we actually redirect user to product, and first thing which we do is like load product, right? I was just trying to like think about a scenario where we don't have the product into our state, but in this case we do. So why to complicate things, right? Why not to just keep it simple? But let's start with refactoring our product, because we wanted to export the product interface which was not. So let's start from there. So here I'm at the product library and we have product interface inside this. So first thing which we wanted to do is move this interface outside so we can export. So let's do a little bit refactoring. This is how this development process is, right? You develop something, then you realize that okay, this is something which probably will not scale, or this is not the way to do it, then you refactor the code. One thing which I always suggest everyone to do is keep your mind open, right? Don't be scared of refactoring your code. It's okay. You worked on a feature for 2 weeks, and probably there will be something which you think might be changed. So always think about those scenarios which can be improved later. I know in fast paced development today we don't generally get time, but of course you can actually add it to backlog and keep this in probably your to-do list, that okay, I want to do it, go ahead and revisit and do this in future. At Celonis, this is how we do it. We of course delivering a best product, or you can say 100% foolproof product with best code is something which is, just believe me, not possible at the first iteration, right? It's okay. There are developers who are doing it, but it's not possible for everyone. And you should keep your mind open that okay, I have to if I'm not able to do it right now, probably I will do it in future. Or let's say you are going through some feature and you realize that okay, probably this code can be improved. So all those things, this is like your own initiative, right? It shows that you really care about the code. It's not like the code which I have written 2 years ago, or a year ago, or 6 months back was the perfect code. The frameworks, libraries, they keep changing, and especially in JavaScript world, right? All big libraries or frameworks, for example, Angular has release of every 6 months. So it's possible that something which you wrote 6 months ago might be easier 6 months later. So you want to make sure that once you leave your code base in a better situation where the new developers can adopt easily, right? The developer don't have to actually go ahead and read the documentation of Angular 6 because you have not changed your code, or maybe before that. Angular does a pretty good job in upgrading your code base. Like, if you know, Angular ng update can upgrade your code in case there is something which is deprecated. It can automatically upgrade your code to the latest version. But still, there are a few things which you may have to adopt, and take this as an initiative in case you are working in a team. So let's create this interface first. So I'll say okay, this is product.ts, and I'll move. Okay, what I did. So this is my interface. Now I have to change few imports, or we have to add some imports here. So let's do that quickly. So here we may want to do it in effect, because this is also changed now. And one thing more, when you refactor code, there will be errors. So be ready to actually read those errors. Most of the developers actually don't read errors and they give up that okay, there is some problem while refactoring or while upgrade. So yeah, keep that also in your mind. I mean, you may see like hundreds of errors in your console, but slowly, once you start fixing those, it will go away. So this is one of the thing which I have personally seen seen many projects. Developers just give up because they suddenly get some errors. It's okay. Errors are part of the process, so should not be scared of it. And this is it. So we have state and action effects. We are not using it anywhere. I don't think so. We are using it. Otherwise, it will throw an exception. Service, we have to change it here because this product is now product. So, and then we have to export it. So let's do that. And we are doing this because we wanted to use this interface outside. If you don't want, if you're not going to use it outside, don't export. I mean, it's okay. You can just leave it as it is. Right, so we made this change here. Now we have to go back to the cart page and add this product interface. So let's go. Which was that? Which page was? We wanted to do it on reducer, if I'm not wrong. Cart, no cart, right? So here, so we wanted to use product rather than doing this. I can say, hey, this is product interface. And we wanted to do it as one more place. So product info, product effect. I think this was not the file selector. No, where was that? Service. Here it is. So we wanted to actually use product as a type here on product list. And here we said, okay, we are actually going to get this product information already into our store. So let's go ahead and use it from the store, right? So how we can do it? We already have product state category. I think this is where we are loading. No, no, I think so. Let's see. Product category service. So we are loading categories here, and in product, what we are doing in product, yeah, product. Okay, so we have our products here. So into product state, and we also have selector. So I think we removed it and we moved into product state. So we already have this products, select product, right? This is filter by category, and then we have select products, which gives me all the product. So what we can do is we can again combine this to selector and select all the product which exists in this, right? And that's it. That's what we have to do. And we can also add uh, code, or we can also add functionality to push the products into this cart. So we'll do both. Let's start with first retrieval of the information. And to do that, we'll go back again to our cart. And here in cart selector, what we can do is we can say this is select user card selector. Here we can import from org/product. As I said, I mean, as if you are actually following me on the others, I mean, from the start, I mean, and you're following all the streams, just go ahead and, like, in case you have some PRs and you think something can be improved, just go ahead and send this PR to me, and then we can learn together, right? It's not like I know everything, and it's almost impossible to just know everything. I'm not God, and I don't claim to know everything. I'm just improving day by day. That's it. That's what I do. And then we can say products. But here, let's see what we can do, right? So we can say products cart dot products dot map, where product is product ID, and we return the product. Do we need product detail? No, I don't think so. I think it's okay. I think you just need. So what we are doing is inside this cart, we have some products, right? And we are doing a loop on that, and we are getting the products inside, and we are trying to find that, okay, this whatever product we have, where the product ID of the product which is in cart matches the product ID of the product which is available into our products. So go ahead and update that into our products array. So this should be okay. We can test it. I mean, let's go ahead and test this. The way to do it is, of course, we can run. Hey, some Mac. I know it's not humbleness. I mean, believe me. I mean, it's maybe some developers can claim that they are experts or they know everything. I mean, I'm just trying to get myself to a position where I am not like that I don't know anything. I mean, yeah, I'm just trying to keep up myself from last 14 years. That's what I'm doing. I'm also scared, just like everybody else, that okay, I'm not the best developer there. And NX, let's start. So we can just serve workspace. And so Samek, which so do you use Angular at work, or you just joined because we know each other? And believe me, this is just not related to Angular, I would say. I mean, you can like all this logic is something which you can apply anywhere. You don't have to be just like use this with Angular. So I think it looks perfect to me. The only problem is I see this products is not an array. Okay, let's see. And we can just use. Okay, I already have one browser tab open. I'll just use this one. And let's go 0 and let's log in, because to get user information, we need to log in, and we are using the dummy data. Great. So let's go back to the cart and see what we have here. So we have user. We don't have product. Let's see. Why not? Product ID this, but we don't have. I think we just made some mistake. I just went to learn with I'm working on React since past year. Oh, nice. So yeah. So where do you work, Samak? I mean, yeah. So this is select products and product. Probably we can change this, and I can say, hey, this product is products. Hmm. Let's do one thing. Let's pass this products as products and see what we get here. Basically, it should return me all the products. Way to debug the code. And I mean, so something just to give you an idea, I'm using NGRX, and NGRX has similar APIs to as of Redux. Redux toolkit. So they have taken huge inspiration from Redux toolkit as well. So you may see some of this code which is similar, for example, selector action. In case you have used Redux, I'm sure you might have, because I think that's a go-to library for state management. Right. So, okay, so this works. I mean, we are able to get the products which is available here. So what we are missing is probably the mapping, right? So let's see how we can handle that. And this is where some of the logic comes into existence, right? I mean, we have to go ahead and verify that what logic we are writing is actually perfect at this moment. So what we can do here, so how to get this information? So if I have to, oh, you're in second year. Oh, I mean, I have seen so many amazing people, amazing developers from India. They are just still in colleges, and it's actually really great. So okay, so let's see. What I can do is I can say, hey, this is a new product, and this product, um, or we can say card products rather than just calling it product. And here, what I want is the products. So I'll say, hey, just go ahead and run the array on this products.filter, where product of this product, which is in my product array, is equals to card.id, but not cart id, right? So because this is product id, product.id, and then I have to also run it for each cart id. So I have two ideas. I mean, I can either do it with reduce, or what else? We can do it with reduce, or we can just have multiple arrays, right? So let's try. Let's try which one works. And product.id, and then here I want like it to be equals to the cart id. So I have to make sure that I run it based on the products, but I have to also check the cart information so I don't miss the multiple product. So to test it, I mean, what we can do is products of 0.id and see if we get at least one product. And this should be an array. We can use it here, cart products. Let's see. See, I'm not in JavaScript, even a JavaScript expert, so I have to struggle with all these loops. Cool. Let's go to cart, and then we got product, and yeah, so we got cart product rather than actually getting products. So that's wrong. So we found that okay, there's something wrong with this logic because it has to be uh, products, and then we pass cart product to this. But I'm just wondering why this is empty. So because we should have some data here. So okay, we can add a debugger and see products.filter for each product, and product.id is products of 0.id. Let's add a debugger. And if there are any, if you have any idea like how we can solve it, just let me know. Products are loaded. Let's go back to sources, webpack, libs. We want to debug this cart one. So we have cart store, cart selector. This is where the code, this is the selector where we which we are going to call. Let's go to view cart. So we have cart, we have user, we have products. Perfect. So here we Let's play. And product. Oh, okay, because I said no, it's okay. Product.id, right? So cart dot products of 0.id is undefined by cart of, because this is product ID, not ID. And that's probably it, because that's the reason it failed earlier. And by cart. Ah, okay. Hmm. Because the data metadata which is coming from cart has product ID as field, and this product has ID as field. Okay. So let's change our metadata a little bit. So we can actually roll this back. We will have two information. So this is products and this is uh, product details, right? And then I'll say this is products array. And so we keep product IDs here and product details here. Just to simplify the code, I mean, nothing to do with. So here now we can see cart and cart dot product is product ID, and I can say this is not the product but product detail, and this is cart product. Okay, let's verify. So here, let's log in. Let's go to cart, and now we should have one product here. Great. So in product details, we have the product details for ID1, and this is what we have to do. So we have to actually just go ahead and somehow loop it multiple time and get the product information, put it in product details, and then we can pass this information down to the child component which we were creating. So I'll think about this logic, uh, how we can do it, and then meanwhile, what we can do is we can move ahead and complete our this dumb component which we created last time. So let's see. So here we have some information, for example, name, email, uh, phone, address. And what we will do here is I'll say this is products. And below this, we will display or we will pass this product information to product list component which we have here. So I'll say, okay, hey, go ahead and pass this information which we have received to product list. And I'll show you one more feature, I mean, which is available with Angular 16. You can have self-closing brackets. So this is possible. Why we are getting an error? We have seen this because this component is a standalone component, and to use this component, we have to go ahead and register it here. So we have to say, hey, go ahead and import this component, product list component, and you can see the error will be gone as soon as I add the import. So once we add this import, this error should be gone, and you can pass the data here. So let's see how actually we do that, right? So in Angular, once you create a property with a decorator called input, this product's property becomes an HTML property of this particular tag. So this selector is your HTML tag, and this input becomes your property. And now you know, like, how you pass data into an HTML property, right? So you just give the property name. So you'll say, hey, this is product, and equals to whatever value we have. So here, this will be a variable, which is actually our cart dot. And there's one more thing which we need to do. We need to wrap this inside and bracket or box syntax, and then we can say, hey, this is cart dot product details. So once we do this, Now this information is passed to my child component. My child component does not need to understand from where this data is coming. They just need to care about, okay, this is the data which I have to render somehow. So now I can take these products and here I can first just display this information by using pipe listen. So we know that, okay, this data is passed down to the child component. So this is the same way as you do in React, right? So you pass the data from parent to child, and let's verify this. I mean, I think you do the same way, irrespective of what framework you use. Let's go back to cart. And here it is. So you can see products, actually this information is available to your child component now. And we can display this information in a table, right? So let's actually grab a table component here from here. So we have a table, right? So this is the component which we can use. And to use this, we have to just import this one. Hmm. And then I'll go to product list because this is where I'm going to use this table. So I'm going to add this API here. I have to add this into imports array. And let's see what else we need. Hmm. So let's see an example. So we have to say, okay, these are the displayed columns, and we have to also pass the data source. So the data source and displayed columns, right? So we can actually say which columns we want to display, and this product information is something which we already have. And then we can pass this data source back to our table. So mat table, you can see data source, and let's copy this table, and the data source would be my products. And this is okay. So good so far, no issues. Let's verify. We are not getting any error or any exception. No console error, yay. And we can actually just log in and see if we are getting some error. And okay, so of course, we are getting an error because we have not passed which columns we want to display. And once we pass that, we are good to go. So here we can say, hey, columns, columns to display. So we have ID, title, price, category. So we can probably remove ID. We can display title, price, category. And this information needs to be, so we can verify from the docs where we need to pass this. So we need to create multiple columns, and in columns we can display, we can provide which column you want to display. So what column definition and displayed columns. Let's see where it is being used. Here it is. So we have to pass this tr with the columns you want to render, and it's inside the table. Yep, inside the table. So let's copy displayed columns, columns to display. So we have used columns to display, and based on this, we can create the our create our column. So you can see this is position. I think we already have a column called position here. Okay, that's okay. So we can just do it multiple times with the columns we want to display. So we have name, or what we have, title. Let's verify if it is right. So we have title, which is product name. We have price. We have category. We have description and image. So price, I think price category is okay. Price category and title. I think this is enough information. So I can change this to title and say, okay, mat definition. So this is, let's say this is product name. And here we can say element dot uh, title. And then let's format this file. Let's add for price. And this is again, I keep talking about how amazing this GitHub Copilot is. So you can see, I mean, I don't have to write much of the code. It's actually auto-completing for me, but sometimes it just adds random column which is even not available. So what we can do is we can take, let's see if you have the quantity available into this 2v. No, it's okay. I don't want to actually display this here. We don't have quantity. If you see, I mean, if you see our information, we have price, we have title, and there is one more column. Add this information as well, the total, or because we can easily multiply price into quantity. Once we fix our selector, if we make it properly, we can actually do that. Let's see, I think we have enough information to display our table information. And let's go back. What is this? Column to display does not exist. What is this? On product list component, it does column to display. There's something which is not saved. Okay, this file is not saved. Should work now. Go back, login. Login, and let's go back to view cart, and here it is. So we have our information available in table. So product name, price, category. We can add column called count, and then we can multiply it by price, and we can display uh, the total price as well, right? And then we can also show a footer where we can combine everything and say how this is the total. That's also possible here. So here, and then we can also have a button. So we can actually add extra column. Here, let's go back, and I can call it as action. And in action, we can actually add a button or icon for deleting a product. So let's go ahead and do that. ng container here. So we can say this is mat column definition is actions. And we can say this is delete product. And here in mat cell definition, what we can do is you can actually refer, should be an example of adding their auto-generated column names, add data, remove data, and here it is. So you can see you can also add icons. So let's go ahead and refer this. So we have at row, not this one, but here. So we can see expanded and collapsed, right? So we can actually add whatever we want here. So I can take an icon. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'll just place an mat icon here. And font icon name. So we have to actually import this API before we can use it. So we can say, hey, this is mat icon module. Which API is icon module, right? So okay, why it is not giving me an option. Okay, anyways, and copy this. And what's wrong? Yeah, this is done. So now this error is gone. And here I can have font icon name as delete area label. I don't think so. I think I can remove it. I mean, of course, if you care about accessibility, do use it. But as of now, it's okay. I mean, you should care about accessibility. Let's go and load the product information. Again, view cart, and then you can see you also have the delete button here. Now you can actually write logic that once you want to remove this product, you click on this and your product is removed from your cart. So that is something which if you want to try, you can go ahead and try it out. And um, if you want, I mean, you can send a PR as well. But this is what I wanted to show you. But we have seen one-way communication, like of course your in this case your parent can send data to child, but is there any way that where your child can also communicate with parent? The best example is the current use case, right? So I'll just write some code where we can send the data back, and then the delete logic is something which you can try, or I will just also try over the weekend to add that logic. But let's go ahead and achieve that as well. So I'll say, okay, this is output. So to send data back to the parent, so you have a similar decorator called output, but here I'll say this is delete product, and this will be of type new event emitter. So you can define, this is how you define an output property. You say, hey, this is new event. Basically, if you think about HTML, I mean, in HTML, how you interact with an HTML element, right? Either you pass property or you invoke some action, for example, button, right? So to, let's say, to give a name to button, you can pass name, ID, or etc., etc. But once you want to actually invoke some action, you also call and click event. So this is where we are actually creating our own event for this particular HTML tag, which is ORG product list. So this is my event, and I can go ahead and use this event to dispatch or to do some action, right? So I can say, hey, first we will define a function. Uh, hey, Samega, thanks for joining. I know, it's pretty late in India. So here I'll say, okay, on when I click a delete or when I click on a delete button, just go ahead and dispatch this data to its parents, whoever is subscribing to it. So remember, even if you create a button, it's not everywhere where you actually do click, right? I mean, there can be a button which can have double click, for example. So once you actually click, in that case you get the click event handler back, right? So here also I'm saying, once you click on delete, just pass me the information which I'm actually getting from here to the parent, whoever is actually going to invoke, or you can say subscribe to this event. Not invoke, because invoke is something which will be done from here. So here I can say, hey, this is mat icon, and I can say on click of, so on click we have, or we can wrap inside a button as well, right? I mean, I know there are button with icon as well. So let's see if we can do that, because button is uh, oh, thank you. So button, because there is a button, toggle button. Yeah, so there is icon button as well. Yeah, this one. So we needed this icon buttons. We can use this because it also is a button. So your in case someone tries to, or someone has a screen reader, I mean, it will read that this is a button. So let's go ahead and grab this one, and then we can just change the icon. uh, Font icon. Here I can say mat icon delete. That's the only thing which we have to do, and then we can remove this area label. I think we can. say uh, delete product. So screen reader can read it that, okay, this is a delete product button. And then here I can say, hey, this is delete, and we have to pass the product ID. So we have the product ID, remember? So we can say element dot, and we have to, I think, select the ID as well now, but we will not display it. So here we can say, okay, give me the ID also, save this, and pass element dot ID here. Once we do this, we should get the current product ID available here. Or what we can do is, rather than just getting the ID, I mean, ID is more than sufficient, but as we are saying this is product, we can just pass the element as well. So all the information related to product gets passed to the parent. We can check. So let's go back to the cart component.html, because this is where we will handle this event. And we can say, hey, this is delete product event. As for example, I mean, this is a button, and you have click event. Similarly, we have this org product list, which is my own component, and this is the event delete product. And we can say, hey, this is delete again, and then we can pass here. We have to pass something called dollar $event, and let's implement this function. So we'll implement this in parent. Remember, my child component is not going to decide how to delete the data. It will just pass this information back to my parent, and parent can decide what and how to handle this information. And we can say console.log product. So, and let's go ahead and see login. Login, and let's go back to cart. And there is something could not find column with ID because we removed it. Uh, mhm. So we don't want this now. I mean, I can get rid of ID. Let's go back, login. This, I know this is boring part, but I mean, our logic depends upon the login. So, and we have this, right? So we have button, and then we click on this delete. Let's see, click on this delete, and your parent receives all this information. So it receives your category, description, ID, whatever you want to do with this. Now you can actually go ahead and do. So you can pass this information back to your backend, delete this data from the cart, and that's it. So this is how you generally do child and parent communication in Angular. This is going to be simplified in future. Right now, we have so if you remember a few days ago, I mean few streams back, I talked about signals. So Angular is going to introduce inputs as signal as well. So the syntax would be much similar. So you can just decide, like, define an input like this. You don't have to create a input decorator, but you can just say input, like I small. I mean, this will be the new API which will be which will come up later on. So once Signal APIs are adopted, so they are planning to do it in Angular 17, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, that's something which is coming. So you don't have to write like input like this. Maybe once it is released, I will do another stream where we can refactor this code to use signals. So we know, right? So we got this product information, we got child parent communication working. Most of other logics, as I said, I'll try to work on them in case you also get the idea how we can actually get all the products. Basically, yeah, I mean, I can do that as well. I have to also Google. So how to combine both the information and then show it. Uh, but to for time being, we just did it for one, and it works. It solved our issue that we wanted to move ahead and display this information. So this is Okay, so what else we should do? Yeah, add to product cart. So add to cart. So here, I wanted to do add to cart as well. We have this our product information, right? So here, let's log in again, and I can disable the login for at least product, because I think users should be able to see product irrespective of their if they are logged in or not. So product, we have add to cart button here, so we can actually add this. When we click on this add to cart, we can display or add this product into our cart. And buy now, so we also need a final screen, right? So checkout, so we also need checkout cart, and then from cart we can say checkout, and where we display how much is the total, the user information, and how much is the payment, and a payment confirmation link. So once I think we do that, we can actually conclude this stream, because that will be the final page, right? And then we can display orders. Yeah, so orders is the last one. So once we see all the orders being placed, we can say, yeah, we have enough code here to show that, okay, we know a little bit of Angular. So how much time is that? So okay, if we have 15 minutes, so we can do that. Let's go back to cart, home, product here, right? So we have product.html, and this is where we are displaying all this information. So this is our add to cart, and this is our buy now. So add to cart, we can dispatch an action on click and say add to cart, and we need to know which product, so we have to pass the product here. And let's display, or sorry, let's implement this one, add to cart, where we get the product, this type of product. And now we have to actually use something from cart, but let's think about another scenario here, because we are using some of the information from product to cart. And if I go ahead and add, or like add the reference from cart to product, it will cause circular dependency. So let me show you. I mean, should I introduce circular dependency? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Why not? This is something which we generally get in production or in the enterprise as well. And then we have to probably refactor our code and see how we can resolve the circular dependency. So let's go ahead and do that. That will be fun. Cart, and we have to add some action. So we have load cart, cart success, cart failure. I'll just add something called add product to cart, and this will contain product, and I'll say this is product, type of product. So this is some done. Let's go back to reducer. Let's handle this, and I can say on product cart, on state, uh, on the state, and then we have current cart, cart, and state dot cart dot. Why do we have push? We are using which one? Current cart. We are using current cart. So we will say this is not what I need. I need current cart, and I can say state dot current cart dot product details. Product of undefined must have symbol iterator. And do this? No. So we can do dot 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 state dot current cart, not this way. See product details. an array. It's not basically, sorry. So we can spread. Why does current cart has this? Is not assignable to type cart. I'm not assigning to cart anyways. Because I'm assigning to current cart. Yeah, that's fine, right? So we am saying this is current cart. It's okay. I'll see what which property is not matching probably. So I'll not hold the stream for a long time. But yeah, I mean this is what you I'll try to introduce this circular dependency, and then we'll figure it out on next stream that how should we go ahead and solve that circular dependency issues. Yeah, that's it for the day, and see you all tomorrow. And thanks again for joining, who stayed late here late, and see you on another stream. Bye bye.